Good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT. Before you take the trade, this is JD, and got a couple things for me to do. So you are watching this off a pre-recorded, and I want to say thank you for taking the time. Go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. That way, you can go ahead and get great information on a consistent basis. Don't forget, my one-on-ones are live again, so you can go ahead and book yourself a date so that way I can go over some of the things and bring you to a profitable trader. So much to cover, and we're gonna go ahead and knock this out. All right. So the first thing I want to go ahead and bring up is everything that's going on with NQ. You can kind of see this thing did some very interesting stuff. Let me get this out the way so that way I can make this a cleaner chart, so you can see what a move. What a move. So if you remember yesterday, I left a opening range breakout that was all the way back from the day before, which was, where are you? Well, hold on, 15 minutes. Opening range breakout that was from the day before. This is Wednesday, so that must have been Tuesday right here. So we had this range right here, and you can kind of see the EMAs was just kind of sandwich around each other. They're like, hey, we're not too sure if we want to take off or go to the upside or the downside, and it just kind of stayed sideways the whole entire time. So incidentally, I kept this there, so I may change up our opening range breakout to kind of point out where they're coming from and everything else, and basically kind of line up of how much of an impact they could be, which one are fresh and which one are previous, because we probably revisiting those same levels, but we'll work on that at a later time. But again, we were down here in this level after CPI data. We established this opening range breakout, and if you look at it, we pretty much turned back around and never came back, right? So we kind of had a nice little move, which in a way I'm a little upset at myself because I probably was too day tradey itself, because that was about 1,000 ticks to the upside if I just probably left it alone. The only thing is I would have to maybe adjust my leverage along the way, maybe kept one, to kind of break down what that 1,000 is. Actually, you know what, let me just explain it here. So just one contract at $20 a point, you're talking about 20 times 250 would have been what, 5,000? Oh, you know what? Let me not guess around. Let's just bring out the calculator. We got AI in 2025, so you might as well use the original AI. 281 times 20, $5,000. If I just left that bad boy alone from when we were talking about it this or in the early part of the morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and start considering some of those things along the way if I left that runner alone. What else I wanted to kind of point out? If you kind of see, like, this was a very, very interesting type of level and type of move, the way they kind of moved it, right? We were trying to take out the CPI data. Didn't really do that in the first instance. We kind of got rejected about 50% of it. Then we got rejected about 75% of it. And then we got the rest a little bit towards the end of the day, and it was like consolidation. And I thought, whenever you see fair value gaps fill, especially something that was done that day, that massive, it usually scares out bears from ever trying to push it back down. But it did not actually work out that way. It looked like the bears were still trying to find ways to push it down until they gave up around news. And I'm going to go over some tickers that had their news. Kind of goes over when they do earnings, and I'm gonna go over a couple ones that earnings that I've been looking at. All right, so let's go ahead and do a quick run through of everything that I see. Let's come out to the daily and let's look at oil. Oil did one of these moves, right? We kind of had this downtrend. I had a feeling that we could go lower, but I was like, maybe this can be higher. But you could see we had a massive sweep going back down, and we're probably gonna get some oil prices lower. Isn't that great for the pump? But if you are trading this to the upside by taking some positions like some CVX or anything like that, this is terrible, right? So the good thing is you don't have to worry about your pump, so maybe you can make it up on that end on your fill up your car. All right, so gold. The gold is over here trying to get back to that 30,000, right? So they're really making a nice little stride. I kind of pointed out this level for the most part, and because this is happening, that is putting pressure on the dollar, and that's the reason why we're having such an impact to that upside. And then if you go to silver, still hasn't broke out, so I feel like it's very frothy right now. So don't chase gold, at least not yet. Maybe if it breaks across this here with silver. And then we got the British pound. The British pound looks like this. That's interesting. Did it save my old lines and put new lines? How come these lines look so weird? Yeah, it saved my old lines. And I think this was an old line here, and this was an old line there. Alright, that should clear that up. Alright, so we got a nice little wedging action that's happening right here. If we break out of this wedge, we should see some upside to this level over here, and that's what we're looking for. That is it. All right, and this is natural gas. Natural gas is taking another stride. I think it's going to reject at this point, especially being in a bearish state, but we'll see what happens. And then and then the Russell, I almost said last, kind of building that order block. But again, if the market caps, the larger caps are doing massive moves to the upside, something like a small cap in domestic use is probably going to get affected. And the more we keep pushing up on NQ, the more we're probably going to pull some cash out of tickers like Russell. And then here's the infamous dollar. They're taking a nice little stab. As I explained yesterday, if we didn't go after this area, we was going to go after this area. And if this support breaks, we're going to fall right through. And if it falls right through, watch out, world, we are coming down, right? So that means the dollar is going to go ahead and drop, and then the market is going to go ahead and rally. And I do see this being a little bit of an opportunity for it to be bullish if this thing kind of rallies right back, because we did come back to the angle. That's not really a higher high, so I'm like, we kind of we're breaking out of this trend here, right? Let me point it out for y'all. Something like this to here-ish. Get out of the way, right? We're breaking out of this trend dump, and they try to get back over, can't, and then now we're over here, and we're kind of like we're wedging. I do know we're wedging. So if I was to take this as a instance of them attempting again, that would be from here to here, and that's broken down. And then now we're taking another stab at trying to do it again, which is from here to here, and that's breaking down. So if this thing can't recover here to get back through here, we're talking about a micro trend that's taking over every time they attempt. That's here. That's right. I don't like when I cannot, because it's wedging. That's the worst part. We're talking about this. This is what it is. And if this pivot breaks, then we can adjust that trend line, and then that would be our new lower low. And when that is, then that means this would be our pivot right here, and that's the one that wins. So it's basically pivots going against pivots right now, and this is not looking like we're going to rally to the upside. It looks like it's going to dump. All right, so we do have a couple of things. We have, let me put the NQ here. We do have, back to my FX book, there it is. We do have, oh my God, get out of my way. Initial jobless claims today. We got PPI that's coming through today around 8:30. All this data is coming in at 8:30, so that's going to be very, very tricky. And then after that, we got a bond auction. Excuse me, real early in the morning. We got a bond auction somewhere around 30-year bond auction. Oh, that's going to be around 1 o'clock, so that could have an effect. I've seen bonds really start to shift some things, because if they take their money out of the market, they're going to park it in something safe like bonds. So that could be the case there. So just keep an eye out for 1 o'clock and see what the market does. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and run through some tickers. First one I'm going to kind of talk about, well, actually, let's talk about this one. Tesla. Tesla was a bit of a jerk. Ooh, and then it recovered it. Oh my God. They're such jerks over there. They are such jerks. Let's get rid of these drawings and kind of look at this as objective as possible. So I noticed that Tesla was actually working its way down. Kind of looked like a bit of a bearish divergence. I thought it was going to dump a little further, but it kind of built its base right here. Then I thought it was going to curl right on top of the zero line of the MACD, but then it fell right through. And then right now we're kind of inside of this area where it can still consider itself still bullish. I'm sorry, bearish. But we're so oversold in this lower register here that one of these got to pop up and get up into that register, and depending on how the price action responds to it, we're probably going to go ahead and get back up there. Now they did miss by 5% here and 5% there, and they're not returning all the money to their shareholders like they should, and people has considered this a very expensive stock. So could this be the beginning of more lower side, and this is just a little bit of a retracement? Well, let's just go ahead and put it on a chart. So we got this angle, and then we got this angle, then we got this angle. All right, so that's our downtrend, right? So yesterday kind of made a little bit of a micro uptrend. So we got this and this, so that's a bit of a reversal right there. Why did we do that here? Well, it could be because we got these doji order blocks right here. Boom, and order blocks, right? We got these doji order blocks right here, and it could be the case that the market is trying to find a way to find its footing before it actually really dumps itself. But if we can't get past this level, get it to that 350, 349 area, I think this might give out and then go down even lower. I think they really are targeting somewhere around this area here, which would be, oops, wrong candle, that candle. Right, around 275. Really think that is way too low. I do think they could stop at this 200, which will bring it to $300, and we'll see what happens there. But that was a nice little recovery here. I thought this thing was down for the count, especially when it got to 325. I guess that psychological level of 325 was it. All right, let's go over to Lockheed Martin. Now, Lockheed Martin was a little bit tricky for me to consider playing this. I did feel like the oscillator needed a little bit of a reset, and we did not get that here. I do think there's some more downside to this one, especially how this weekly looks. Yeah, that, oof. Yeah, I try to get down there. But we're sitting on top of order blocks, and this thing could be very tricky trying to get through that order block. If we really boil this down, let's see. Yeah, if we really boil this down, the best that we probably could get to is probably like 434, 435. So we're going to see what happens with Lockheed Martin, but that's a good buying opportunity for long term. Again, this is Lockheed Martin. This is a good company. Yes, they missed on EPS by a lot. That is a lot of money that you're not giving back to your shareholders. Probably crazy expenses, probably contracts, whatever the case may be. So I can understand why this all happened. I'm just mad that they probably told their friends about this a long time ago. But again, the charts are supposed to tell you what it's supposed to do, and we're probably going to put in a bit of a bullish divergence. We got here and here as a histogram divergence, and we got here and here as a stochastic divergence. We're just missing the oscillator here, and then we could probably do a nice little rally to get a rejection and go even lower. I do think 434 is the number. Dividends. So they got dividends that's going to be paying out on the 3rd. There's probably some people that's holding out just so where they can collect dividends. And then after that, they're going to go ahead and just drop this thing like a bad habit. So we'll see. 401 is probably the lowest I would ever see this thing come down, which is a psychological level for 100 plus. It fills whatever gap that was right here and comes down to that level. So we'll see what happens. Boeing does look good. It looked like we're finally kind of pushing back up to that upside. We're going to see what happens with that one. Starbucks is not playing. It is not playing. That inverse head and shoulder is probably playing out. Let's see if we can get to that fall 115 so we can put some pressure on that reversal point over there. That created what I kind of consider like a head and shoulders, a very ugly one, but a head and shoulders nonetheless, and see what happens from there. Lilly is pulling back a little bit, not too much, but it needed a healthy pullback. I think it's going to go ahead and continue to the upside as they try to fill this gap. I won't be surprised to see Lilly around that 900 level again. And Spotify is recovering what they dropped off at. This is a very interesting one because something like in IBM did not do something like that. They kind of did this, and then they came all the way back to this base again. So I think IBM got some downside as they try to attempt to fill that gap. We'll see what happens. Alrighty. What else we got? The Palantir is another one of those good companies, and they get government contracts. This is how much money they're returning to shareholders. But just like a Lockheed Martin, if something shifts or the expenses get high, this can really squeeze that down. This only about another 1.8 away from getting to a billion. 180 million. Anyways, this one looks like it's still in line with its EPS and estimates. So we'll see what happens there. And then one I'm looking at is Uber again. That was a pullback for our entry. I really thought they were going to go ahead and just like, okay, we're done with the earnings. We're going to go ahead and come down. I was waiting for a reset of this oscillator, but looks like that is not the case. Came right to my trend line that was started from here and here and then bounced. Good turnaround. Good turnaround. All right, and then this is the hood. Now, listen, folks, I'm not a fan of the hood. I'm not saying I'm anti the hood, but I do believe that this push up that the hood is doing is based on earnings that was smashed. They are in the billion mark. They are also finding an extra 50 cents, 59 cents of earnings for their shareholders. And this doesn't even count some of the Christmas stuff and everything else. So let me take that back. It has some of them, but it probably doesn't have all of them. I really think January is when I get all of them without any adjustments of books. I don't know when they close their books, but just a little ideology. I like to see January versus December, but that's just my preference. And they are guiding the same. They didn't up their guidance. That is interesting because this might not hold, but we'll see what happens from there, because another company that did not update their guidance is this one, and this was 50 cents, and they actually returned $3. So fudging the numbers? No, I'm just joking. No, they're not fudging the numbers. That would be not right. I think they're just being conservative with their earnings estimates. I digress. All right, let's go ahead and look at Dell. Dell looks like this, and this thing looks like it wants to do a little bit more of an upside to pop up, but we are in the bearish side. Is that a bullish divergence? Let's see. Come on, oscillator. Let's see. No, not a bullish divergence. I could see this reject around this 50 EMA, just like how we see right now, and then start to come down. Maybe they're gonna go ahead and bring it down some further as they get closer to earnings. So keep that in mind. And then let's look at Shopify, because we did talk about Shopify. Let's see. Solid. There. Yeah. So this is guiding a little bit lower, I guess. People are not doing as much doing business on Shopify during spring. Is that what it is? What's happening here? Why you got it down? I wonder if they smashed that one, because here is 438, 2 billion, 2.3, 2.7. So they're estimating even lower revenues. Interesting. Let's kind of go back. Let's see something. Last year, not that one, that one. So they tend to pull back around this time, and they have better Christmas. I guess people start to get into their businesses around Christmas. No, I don't know. It is less here than there, right? But then they surprise, right? But I think they got a little bit of seasonality effect here. So I think this is going to be a real bearish divergence here from here, and here. So I can see Shopify coming back down to maybe these levels. Let's see how they did last time. Okay, this. And then as they were coming to here, and it looked like they bought it back up in June. And then they got the earnings over here in September, and that was better. Yeah, it looks like you just get a major drop off. Again, this is the first time one of the few times that they are turning a positive EPS. So I'm just looking at the numbers in between the lines, and I think that's what they have. They have a little bit of a seasonality issue. I could see them kind of consolidating, breaking this trend, coming back down, maybe even $93 or $100, and then it comes. So yeah, this might be what I call overpriced right now. So maybe take a little bit of a breather as far as taking this on. All right, so that said, let us go ahead and take some shots at some tickers that has their earnings coming up. Who has theirs coming up? I think Moderna already had theirs. Oh, not yet. Okay, so Moderna is going to have their earnings reported tomorrow. They haven't returned money to shareholders in a very long time. Oh, surprise. Slight surprise. This one was positive. Are they adjusting possibly? Are they getting... Huh. I don't know if y'all see Moderna from here. And of course, Trump is in office, so Moderna was really powered by a lot of Trump, right? That's your spike. That's your spike again. And that's your spike here again. So this one could be a bit of a high risk earnings type of play. Moderna to $40. What is this 50 EMA? Yeah, Moderna to $50. We got a solid continuation here until here. We're already up pre-market. Yeah, I could see that. That is a possibility. Moderna to $40. Let's put this on the red list. See what happens. All right. If y'all haven't seen it, so it's basically like a bullish divergence. We're probably going to go ahead and get a nice curl. If this thing cuts through the zero line and gives one of these type of impact on the MACD, we're probably going to get this type of price action. Like a strong... The last time they did that, that was a $60 move. I don't even want that much. I just want $30. That would be like $260. That would be great, but I think the $10 is very attainable. Very, 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 very attainable. All right, let's see what else we got. What else we got? We have Oxy made me mad. Not gonna look at them. Not right now. DraftKings. Let's see. DraftKings earnings. They anticipated negative. They missed badly the last time. There was a lot of gambling going on, especially with the Super Bowl. Oh my God. I saw the video. Somebody put $1 million on Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes can afford it. You might as well just go ahead and send him a bill and be like, hey, you didn't show up and I believed in you. You know, send him a bill. Anyways, that said, I would say for the most part, this is kind of doing what I thought it was doing. We got a micro trend right here that is continuing here. And it could be that they're building from here to here and then probably break out this top. That would be interesting. I like that one. Upstart, $21. Oof. Wowzers. 700% on the EPS. Talking about making the shareholders happy. They were already doing good. They were tracking to get positive and everything else, but this is the one that is positive. Can Upstart continue to bring in positive returns here? I do think there needs to be a little bit of a pullback. If that pullback actually happens, this could be one. Now, I am mad because I did say I was going to get into Affirm and Upstart, but I said, this earnings cycle, feel a little shaky on it, and I kind of pulled back from doing one of my more nutty or crazier trades. Here's Affirm to kind of give you an example. Had this angle. I see, like I don't think I put two in the same spot, but let's just leave it alone. Had this angle and everything else, and I felt like they were consolidating around this 55, and then this thing just bolted. You can see, no such thing as a higher high until it's there. That's that. So that means this is that, and that's why that is there. So since that's the case, that is smashed, and right now, got my indicator in the way. Right now, we can adjust first this one. because that was our higher high. Really, Jeff? Come on, do better. That's our higher high right there. And then here's our deviation right here. I wonder if I did that like on a weekly or something. And then boom, there we go. That is what we were looking at. We were looking at a potential micro trend that was going to beat a major trend, and that beat the major trend through a gap up, and that was good consolidation inside of a wedge. Good trade, good trade. If you did take that one from the time that I kind of broke it down mid-December, good trade. You could go look at some of those videos. All right, Datadog. Let's look at Datadog, and we'll probably wrap up around here. Still consolidating. Looks like we got a nice little pop-up. Is there earnings this morning? Oh, their earnings is this morning. Okay, so now we got a nice little pop-up here from their earnings. I like when they do this little foolishness here. Boom, boom. That made a lower low. That made a lower low. This made a lower low. And then it just consolidated. If you just kind of accumulated along the micro trend that's beating it already, which is right. Come on, get there. Right there. Right there. Right. Every time it got close to this line, just buy some more. You could have did something like that. Right. But again, that's riskier, especially going into earnings, because you'll have heavy leverage going in. If you were wrong, bang, smack right back down. They were sitting on top of this fair value gap right here to here, and this imbalance, and there's the order block right here, this doji, and that's the one that is holding it up. What was previous resistance turns into support. So since we're talking about Datadog, let's go ahead and find something like Snow. Did Snow benefit from some of this? Oh, I'm gonna come up to a weekly on this one. Oh, I do believe we're wedging again. This is another one of those. We had a trend that was trying to break out with a micro trend that didn't work out. Let's get that out of the way. Bye bye. This is our micro trend. This is a good bump and run. For those that are playing it to that point, you're probably happy. But I do think we're getting a little exhausted. Yeah, something like that. So as long as this deviation of that is holding, and I think earnings is going to be the next catalyst, we're probably going to go ahead and attack that fair value gap. Snow to 213. Bold predictions. All right. Anyways, we got almost. Let's just make it a 30-minute video. One more. I did look at Carvana. I did find this one kind of interesting because returning very little. If you don't know who Carvana is, this is one of those pandemic ones, and he was like, oh man, this thing is just getting its butt whipped, and for somehow it turned the corner right around here. Still don't understand why, and looks like they're doing one of these things, and again, still don't know why. I don't like companies that does negative. This one is positive here. This one reported negative, but it went positive there. And looks like they're figuring things out for the last 3 quarters because they're turning positive. This one is estimated to be positive, so this is going to be one of their first ones. Maybe they're going to go after this whole yearly wick. That would be crazy. That would be insane. I didn't even think they were that good, especially how we dropped off so hard. But it is what it is. That's how the market works. And one more. Amazon. Let's do Amazon. So Amazon, they had their earnings. They did okay. I think they did okay. I think this is a little bit of a pullback because everybody knows it's a good company. Amazon back to 240. I can see that. Bit of a bearish divergence here, especially this one right here. Could it be that's where they were aiming for, that far, and that's it? If we could get a nice little stochastic cross, we could probably get a new good play to the upside. All right, that said, thank you very much for taking the time and listening to this video. I want y'all to have a great week. Don't forget, Mindset is on Saturday. I'm going to be doing it at a different location in the middle of it. It's going to be very interesting. It's expanded to getting a new office, and I'm going to do something slightly different for y'all folks and itself. What else? Oh, don't forget, one-on-ones are available. Go ahead and click the link down below. My link tree has it. I can guide you to become a profitable trader. And also, a big thank you. Likes and subscribes does help. Kind of encourages, kind of gives me those milestones. I am 6 more people away from being at 200 followers. So I would love for you to go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. That way it can really work with the algorithms and, promote your boy. That said, I will bid you a fond farewell. I will love to see y'all again at BYTTT on Tuesday, and I should be a little bit more into my office on that Wednesday before I have to go ahead and kick in for probably going to be the craziest season for taxes this year. All right, have a great day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.